Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 32 of the Washington football team franchise here in Madden NFL 22. We're in the thick of the offseason here in the series, and last episode we had the free agent recap, so that means the next thing up is the NFL draft. Now the NFL draft is a 3-day event. It'll be 3 days here on the channel. That will be next week. So today I want to do a little bit of a draft preview for you guys, give you guys a mock draft as to what I think is going to happen in the first round. We'll go over the top picks in the draft and see where they might end up. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. And let's jump right into it. Hello you guys, up next is the 2022 NFL draft, and today we have our mock draft here on the channel. The first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft belongs to the Denver Broncos, and they made a trade with the Eagles to acquire the first pick, and I had them mocking none other than quarterback Spencer Rattler, the current Heisman Trophy winner. You don't trade a lot of picks for anybody other than a quarterback. He's the best quarterback on the draft, and Spencer Rattler is going to go number 1 in this year's draft. Second pick belongs to the Detroit Lions via the Los Angeles Rams, and with the second pick of the draft, I have them taking defensive end Kayvon Thibodeaux out of Oregon, arguably the best overall prospect in this draft. I think the Lions will roll with Goff for another year. They were decent, and when you have a superstar caliber player like Kayvon Thibodeaux and you don't necessarily need a quarterback, you kind of have to take him. The third pick, that belongs to the Carolina Panthers, and you could argue quarterback here, especially with Sam Darnold, but instead I have them enhancing their offensive line and taking guard Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. Panthers' offensive line is very, very bad, and I think if any quarterback is going to survive, you need to enhance it. Kenyon Green is the best offensive lineman in this draft class, so I think Carolina takes him here at 3. But the fourth pick belongs to the Los Angeles Chargers, and with the fourth pick, I had them taking Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback out of LSU. I think the offense is relatively put together, and if Stingley falls to 4, I think you have to take him. He's the second best prospect, in my opinion, a phenomenal man corner coming out of college. With just a little bit of help, he'll be a lockdown corner in just a few years, in my opinion. The fifth pick of the draft belongs to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They had the number 1 pick last year and took Trevor Lawrence. And I think this year with the fifth pick, they're going to go defense. I think they're going to take free safety Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame. A great center field safety. The Jaguars defense was very bad this year, and he can play safety. He's got range. He's got the hit power. I think Kyle Hamilton will really help that back into the secondary. Sixth pick belongs to the Green Bay Packers. Very disappointing this year. Aaron Rodgers has agreed to stay in Green Bay for at least one more season. So with that being said, I think they'll take wide receiver Garrett Wilson out of Ohio State. You could argue offensive line, but I think Rodgers finally gets a weapon here in the first round. You take the best wide receiver in the draft class, pair him with Devontae Adams, and give Aaron Rodgers another target to throw at. Seventh pick belongs to the Buffalo Bills. I have them going defensive end DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M. They had a relatively disappointing season by their standards, just a slow start. And I think Sean McDermott, being such a defensive coach, with his background being a defensive coordinator, you take the best defensive player available, and DeMarvin Leal, a phenomenal run stopper. He'll definitely help them in the trenches. With the eighth pick belongs to the Philadelphia Eagles. This is via that trade with the Broncos, and I have them selecting left tackle Evan Neal. Now, Hurts, I think, will stay another year as the quarterback, and I think Evan Neal, they have a great right side of the line that's getting older, but their left side is very much suspect. Drafting Evan Neal, especially here at number 8, will give them a left tackle and help solidify all areas of that line. The Eagles actually have back-to-back picks here as well. They have the 9th pick, and I think with the 9th pick, they're going to go defense. I think this is where they go linebacker Christian Harris, also out of Alabama. Eagles linebackers have been very suspect for a few years, and I think Christian Harris will help that. I don't necessarily think he's a 3-down linebacker out of the gate, but he's a great run stopper, and he'll definitely help in that regard. So I see them going Harris here at 9. The 10th pick belongs to the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns had a very up and down season, a lot of downs, including the releasing of Odell Beckham Jr. So I think they replace him here with the 10th pick and Chris Olave, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Kevin Stefanski is on the hot seat going into this year, so is Baker Mayfield. So they give themselves another target to help them out, a great underneath receiver. Olave will help replace Beckham. The 11th pick belongs to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to have a new quarterback this year in Jameis Winston, and I think they help Winston by drafting right tackle Nicholas Petit-Frere out of also Ohio State. I think this is a reach, but he's the best right tackle in the class, and he's going to go high just because he's a tackle, and I think just getting a body on that offensive line will help the Steelers, especially if they're transitioning to Winston. 12th pick belongs to the Atlanta Falcons, and I don't have them going quarterback despite Sam Howell slipping down draft boards. Instead, I have them going Drake Jackson, linebacker out of USC. That'll help their pass rush on defense. I think this is somebody Washington would have targeted with the high pick. But he's a great pass rusher, got good finesse moves, good hands. Just a little slow, but I think he'll help that Falcons front seven. 13th pick belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. Zimmer also on the hot seat, and with his background, I think they go BPA right here, and that is Kaiir Elam, who is starting to slide down this draft board. Cornerback out of Florida. Best player available, in my opinion. He'll help that secondary. He's probably the best zone cover corner in this class. I think you help him just get that secondary back to what it used to be with Rhodes and company. 14th pick belongs to the New York Jets, and I also have them going corner in Ahmad Sauce Gardner. Kaiir Elam definitely won't go below this pick. I actually would have had them going Elam if he fell one more, but I think Ahmad Gardner is a good fit. The Jets secondary is very, very poor, and Garner's probably got arguably the best hands in out of all the corners, and I think he'd be a very, very good fit in New York. 15th pick belongs to the Houston Texans via the trade for Deshaun Watson. And I think they go Nick Bonito, linebacker out of Oklahoma, the captain of that Sooners defense that helped them upset Alabama to make it to the national title game. I think he's a little over projected just because of that great semifinal game. But nonetheless, Nick Bonito is a very good player. I can see him definitely going to the Texans here at 15. For the 16th pick, it belongs to the Las Vegas Raiders. And with the new regime, I had the Raiders selecting Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. Don Martindale is the head coach in the Raiders, so you could definitely make an argument for them going defense, but I think you just kind of move on with a new start. Malik Willis could be their quarterback of the future, the biggest, I would say, boom or bust player in the first round. Malik Willis, though, goes to the Raiders. 17th pick belongs to the New York Giants, and I also have them going quarterback. I think Daniel Jones gets replaced here, and I think it's Sam Howell. Now, I don't necessarily think Sam Howell will fall to 17, but since I'm not doing trades in this mock draft, he fits most with the Giants. One of the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft class, top 4 maybe, but Sam Howell replaces Daniel Jones. 18th pick belongs to the Lions as well. This is actually their pick. And I think they pass on quarterback again, especially with Howell just going. I think they go wide receiver Treylon Burks. The Lions lost Galladay to free agency just a couple of off seasons ago, and they haven't really replaced him. I think Treylon Burks could be that man. He has probably the best deep guy in this class, has great catch, great hands. He can go up and get it, get off the line. I think he fits for the Lions. Eagles with their 3rd first-round pick at pick 19. I have them going Owen Pappoe, linebacker out of Auburn. Yes, I had them going Harris earlier, but their linebacker core is pretty bad. So I think you just double up here. You get Harris, you get Pappoe, arguably one of the faster linebackers in this draft class, really help the run game and watch them blossom into a passing duo over the middle. Next pick belongs to the Baltimore Ravens at 20, and I had them going defensive tackle Jordan Davis. I think the Ravens are in a weird spot where they're picking at 20, but they don't have any necessary weaknesses. So I think you just get arguably the biggest player available. Jordan Davis clogged that middle at 6'6", 340. Yes, he's going to stop the run. And I think the Ravens get a very solid pick here at pick 20. 21st pick belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and company sticking around for another year. I think maybe you could go wide receiver here considering they lost Godwin and Antonio Brown. But I have them going left tackle Jackson Kirkland instead. If Brady's going to survive a little bit longer into his career, you need to anchor his blind side. I think this is a little bit of a reach, but with such a need at left tackle, I think you Jackson Kirkland here. With the 22nd pick, it belongs to the Texans. I have them going George Karlaftis, defensive end out of Purdue. Help that pass rush a little bit, replace hopefully some of the production that J.J. Watt used to have. And I think you just get him here. Nice, solid player. He's got a high motor. He can get off blocks. Don't know much about his pass rushing, but he helps you at least in the run game. For the 23rd pick, I have the Cardinals continuing this run of big fellas. I have them going defensive end Kingsley Enagbare out of South Carolina. Yes, the Cardinals did have J.J. Watt and company, but Enagbare helps replace it. I think they also need some help down there. He can lay the boom. He's kind of raw, but I think this is where the draft kind of clogs a defensive lineman, and you just take another one here. Next pick belongs to the Bears at 24, and I have them also going defense, a front seven player and a linebacker, Adam Anderson, pass rusher out of Georgia. The Bears pass rush kind of failed them in the playoffs, and I think you just try to address it here. I think this is also a reach, but he's got solid finesse and block shedding moves, and I think that'll shoot him up draft boards. And I think the Bears take him with the 24th pick. 25th pick belongs to the Washington football team, and I have them picking Rasheed Walker, left tackle out of Penn State. Yes, they did just sign Donovan Smith to a 2-year contract, pretty hefty 2-year contract at that, to play that spot. But he's already 29. He's not going to get any younger. And I think just with the way this draft board has fallen, Rasheed Walker, one of the best pass blocking linemen in this class, you could definitely let him develop for a couple years before throwing him in the fire. The 26th pick belongs to the Cincinnati Bengals. I had them picking defensive end Zach Harrison. I would have them go lineman here, but there's really not a good offensive lineman with this pick. So Zach Harrison is the play for me out of Ohio State. Another reach in my opinion, but you're at the back end of the first round. You're going to hit on some of these players, and he's only 21, so he's got plenty of time to develop. The 27th pick, the New Orleans Saints, who don't have a quarterback. I don't have them picking Carson Strong here. Instead, I have them taking free safety DeMarco Hillams out of Alabama. Yes, this is a huge reach in my opinion, but the Saints only have one safety on roster, and I think you really need to get the second one. He's pretty fast. Don't know a lot about him, fortunately, scouting-wise, but don't be surprised if he sneaks in with the Saints. 28th pick also belongs to the Patriots, and I have them taking the same philosophy. Tyler Vrabel, a right tackle out of Boston College from the Massachusetts area. Bill Belichick will definitely go and address his needs despite where they're supposed to go. Vrabel, I have him going. He's got quick feet, and the Patriots have a big hole at that right tackle spot. You try to fill it here, even if he's projected late second. 29th pick belongs to the Dallas Cowboys. I have them picking defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. Now, this isn't the same Hutchinson you see on TV, as this draft class was made a little before that, but Hutchinson is still a very high motor player off the edge. I think it's a steal for the Cowboys. I said he's mid-second talent, but I think he's going to progress quickly. I think the Cowboys get a nice pass rusher here at 29. 30th pick belongs to the Tennessee Titans, and I have them picking wide receiver John Mechie III out of Alabama. This is a steal, in my opinion. You have Brown, you have Julio, but Julio is getting older, and Tannehill is getting older too, so you try to expand his career with John Mechie. Great underneath route runner at 6 foot, 21 years old, good hands, a great piece for that offense. 31st pick belongs to the Jets via the Seattle Seahawks. I had them picking cornerback Andrew Booth. Yes, that's how bad I think the Jets secondary is. Cornerback out of Clemson, the second corner picked in this draft between Ahmad Gardner and Booth. If they got Elam, I think they only go one corner, but you might as well double up, just completely shut down that secondary, build with these two players, and that's the 31st pick to the Jets. Lastly, to round out the first round belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs, and with the 32nd pick, I had them taking center Tyler Linderbaum. Now, obviously, when you win a Super Bowl, you don't have many holes, so I think you just try to clog one of them. Center's a little suspect for the Chiefs, and I think you just get a day one starter here with Tyler Linderbaum. He's projected early second, but if you have a late first pick, he's not going to fall to that spot. Strongest center in the class. Very good pick here for the Chiefs. So that's my mock draft for the first round of the upcoming draft class. Let me know what you guys thought of it down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of episode. The draft will be next week. Next week is draft week here on the channel. I cannot wait to bring it to you guys. We'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.